Creation's Journey to Life. Day 17. The Trap of Dementia. Part 1. For context, watch the Adam Curtis documentary, The Trap. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to refuse to see that the acceptance of human nature to be fundamentally irrational, to the extent that no cure is possible, only management can be achieved, actually implies that all humanity suffers from mental disease, including the mental health professionals. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to refuse to realize that with the rationality of human nature accepted as incurable, and with scientists being unable to identify with certainty what caused the mental disorders of irrationality, I fail to see that by implication the mental health professionals is subject to the same disease and are not experts to which we can subject ourselves with trust. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed the trap of mental disease as a symptom of self-interest driven by profit of the consumerism system, with which I express my self-interest with total disregard for life as what is best for all life. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to accept mental disorders and disease as based on conclusive scientific research, without realizing that no understanding of these conditions actually exists, and that it is only managed with the patient's tacit or explicit permission, or when a person appears to be a real threat to the accepted ways of self-interested living. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to refuse to see that unless the starting point in all ways in psychology and psychiatry is based on principles that are best for all life in every way, no solution for the problem of the mental disease will be forthcoming, as the mental disease epidemic is a symptom of a world system of self-interested corruption and self-interest pervasive at an instinctual survival level generated by irrational fears. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to base my life, my education, my decisions, what I teach my children, what I allow the world to become, on the premise that human beings will always betray me, and I have allowed an industry of mental health to develop that feeds off this irrational belief. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to trust only the numbers, wherein if the majority agree, then they must be right, and that this has been deliberately programmed into society as the present consciousness under the entitlement of freedom, with the understanding more and more beings accepted that freedom from the betrayal of my fellow man is in control. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to violate the trust I should have in life as my physical body and physical nature, in which I am actually really dependent for every breath, and that I have made life my mental condition of irrationality, which I have allowed to be controlled by outside forces, as I have accepted myself to be in many ways fundamentally mentally flawed. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed individual freedom to become based in separation from life by placing its value in the pursuit of self-interest and regardless of the cost and consequence. I commit myself to demonstrate in every way that human nature is programmable and can be changed to produce a reality that is best for all life. I commit myself to assist in the reformation of the mental health fraternity till it is the foundation of sound principles of life that do not accept the human as being fundamentally flawed. I commit myself to prove mathematically the self-interest as model of society as not the way to a stable society, as greed, corruption, and deception will eventually allow extensive abuse that will turn Earth into a catastrophe for all life. I commit myself to challenge the accepted research through presenting common sense solutions that will lead to a mentally healthy society. I commit myself to show that when the starting point is life equally respected in each other, the fundamental premise to give so that you may receive is immediately grasped to such an extent that irrational fear evaporates. I commit myself to the re-education of the family to be the foundation of mental health of every child being born by demonstrating to parents that parental irrational fears based on love cause the greatest destruction in producing mentally unstable adults. I commit myself to demonstrate that when numbers are used for management to make conclusive observations, and the equality of all life is not on the answer side of the equal to symbol, the number will never produce a society that is stable. I commit myself to demonstrate that betrayal is based on the secret backchat of the subconscious mind that can actually be found, isolated, and deleted, resulting in a permanent change of the person. I commit myself to restore the common sense trust in the physical reality that is the giver of life, to restore order in an irrational, illusory world of consciousness. I commit myself to demonstrate the oneness, interdependency between all parts of the physical realm that together form the body that is life, through which we have been destroying the earth, and our life will end, and therefore we cannot continue to live as if we are separate of the real reality without permanent consequence.